Welcome back to another episode. Yeah, it's good to have you all back. And you know who we're going to watch today? We're going to watch this guy, Mr. Invisible. Yes, well, that's actually, it's not his name. His real name is Me Shadow. Me Shadow _1. And in his STRV 1030, this Swedish tank destroyer. Oh, the Swedish tank destroyer. Playing on the little tier 2 map. Used to be the little map for the tier 2s. And on the little map for the tier 2s, Provence, what the hell do you do? There's two things you can do. You can kind of like stay here, or you can cross. Well, there's three things you can do. You can cross, like you see his team crossing there to the other side, or you can stay here, or you can move up north on your side. The middle is kind of a death zone. There's a couple of little guys there running around the middle. They'll probably die. And the map plays all around the edges like this. So when you're in one of these STRVs, I mean, you're a sniper. So what are you gonna do? You're just gonna. He doesn't know what to do. Basically, is what. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's probably frustrated, saying, "Oh, I'm on this stupid map." He can't move north with the heavies. He can't cross. He's, you know. I guess he's going to just stay here and take some blind shots to start and then move into a bush and try and support, is his plan. Like his heavies kind of went north on their side there on the west. A few guys scooted across. Those guys that scooted through the middle, well, one of them's dead. I'm surprised the enemy one's still alive. A few of his guys went across on the southeast side there, but they haven't spotted anyone for him to shoot. So where does he go? I mean, he could move north with his heavies or just kind of hang around here and take some blind shots. And he hasn't been spotted, but no one is spotting anyone else, and it's kind of one of these okay, let's just sit here. But trust me, guys, watch this whole game because I mean, it's called Mr. Invisible. More about that later in the game. And I know there's a lot of people talking about the spotting mechanics and the way camo works, and it's all based on formulas that make sense. Every tank has a concealment factor, and every tank has a view range, and then you combine those two things and you work out the detection. So like if a tank has 400 meter view range and your tank has 10% concealment, then you reduce his view range by 10%. So 10% of 400 is 40. So he will have to get within 360 meters, which is 400 minus 40, to detect you. That's how it works, right? But then there's other things like bush, like that little shrub there might, if it's in between you and the enemy, you don't know, right? Every shrub, everything in the game has a different concealment value. So that shrub might have 10% there. Or these bushes on his right might have 25%. I think some bushes can get up to 50%. So it all adds into the concealment, reducing people's detection range. And then there's a concealment when you're moving, when you're still, and when you're shooting. Now these shrubs he's in here probably provide a lot of concealment. The thing is, once you shoot it, now he's finally getting some shots. And this is the boring part of the game. It gets really exciting near the end. When you shoot your gun, any bush within 15 meters of you, or basically if you're in a bush, it's within 15 meters of you. Any bush that when you are in sniper mode like that appears clear, like that, you see the bush is clear, you can just see the faint outline of it. He's in the bush, it's kind of that clear bushy thing there. If it appears clear, like you can see through it, it means you're within 15 meters of it. That's how it works. And that means that bush, when you fire your gun, loses its concealment factor. It does not conceal you anymore. If you back up and the bush turns, so it's not clear, so it's bushy, and I don't think he does that in this game. He's right in the bush here. But if he backed up 15 meters behind this bush, if he kind of went back, so the bush got really bushy, And when he fired his gun, that bush does not lose its concealment. But if you spot someone, it works vice versa. So you might not be able to detect him anymore because you've backed up and the bush conceals the other guy as well. And you got to move into the bush, spot him, back up, let the bush go bushy, shoot him, and you gain the benefit of the concealment from the bush. Then he will disappear. Then you move into the bush, you spot him again. He's not even in the bush. I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but he's got no chance of being detected because they're far away. So that whole discussion there about concealment and stuff, you probably heard it a million times, but maybe that helped a few of you. And I've got to say something while the game is boring. While I did that, you'll notice that the score is now 5-8. A very frustrating map to play. I mean, unless you have a coordinated team that pushes across aggressively and like if his heavies pushed across aggressively and then worked their way down on that east side, it's basically what the enemies did. They pushed across aggressively, and now look, he's not taking notice of these guys right behind him. You notice that? The enemies have pushed across aggressively, and now they've worked their way all the way here. And oh boy, he's taking a shot. Oh, he's face to face with another TD. He's by himself. Uh-oh, what is he going to do? He's going to shoot. Who's he going to shoot? He's going to shoot the heavy tank. No, he shot the TD. Holy shit. What is going on here? Is him versus two? He's got another shot. He was hidden by the dead tank. He's taken a hit. For some reason, these guys aren't flanking. Oh, that guy's dead. He's stunned. Obviously, artillery killed that guy and stunned him, and now he's getting shot up the ass. It's all hell's breaking loose. He's ammo racked. Holy shit. It's 8-12. I think his artillery killed that enemy and stunned him. So, but I'll take the stun if you're going to kill the enemy. That was a great shot by his artillery. And there's there's another guy. There's a scorpion. Okay, now how far is that scorpion from him? That scorpion is very close, but you notice now the bush is bushy. So that bush is supplying concealment. He's firing. The scorpion does not see him. This bush must have... You can work it there. He's going to fire again and kill this poor scorpion who is very close but did not see him because when he fired his gun, his concealment factor probably dropped to some low number. But that bush must have, what, 50, 60, 70% camo rating? So, sucks to be the scorpion. He tried to push up. He's right beside him, but the bush was bushy. If he was in the bush, so the bush was clear, like if he goes into sniper mode now he's in the bush. See, the bush is clear. If he had fired at that scorpion like this, the scorpion would have detected him probably. But by luck, because that's where he was after that brawl, that whole chaos, he happened to be behind the bush. I don't know if he planned it, but and now that I'm babbling on, look what's going on. He's by himself. It's just him versus 6. Holy shit! It's just you versus 6. Where are you going? What is he going to do? Okay, he's going to face. He thinks it's more likely the enemies are going to come from this direction. No, he's not sure. Maybe they're going to come from the other direction. Okay, point this way. Now, what would you do 1 versus 6 in this situation? Well, I would probably, it's worked so far sitting here, so I would sit right here. Because chances are when, it's 6 versus 1, some of those guys are going to say, well, let's go cap. We'll go cap when he shoots, we'll detect him, and then some brave guy is going to go cap, right? Oh, what's he doing? He's leaving. Now, I wouldn't do that. The enemy team has artillery, and he's moving dead tanks, and that's not a good idea. Now he's driving in the open. I don't know what's the point going down here. I guess, well, why not? It's just a crapshoot. You could go anywhere. It's all luck now. But, I mean, what I think the most likely situation now is, especially, if you were winning 6-1, eventually, they're all sitting there going, where is he? You go first. I don't want to go first. No, you go first. No, you go first. Let Mikey go first, right? They don't want to go because they don't want to get hit. But eventually someone's going to say, oh, fuck it, I'll go. And they're going to go to the cap. If all 6 enemies now just drove to the cap, they'd win the game. But this is not a team game. So who knows what is coursing through the minds of the 6 remaining Muppets that have you know, well, the artillery took a blind shot there. So it's probably a good thing that he moved. But what are the enemies doing? I have no clue. I can only comment on what I see, and I don't see any of them. I just see our hero here, Mr. Invisible. And would you stop freaking moving? You have a camo net and binocs. Just stop. Let them there. Now they're engaged. He's in siege mode. Now just sit there. But he can't do it. He's like a little kid that won't stop fidgeting. He's just fidgeting. Your camo net and binocs do not help you if you just keep moving around. So if he's here, he'll detect the guys that go to the base. And there's some cover behind him. There's some dead tanks, so he'll be able to react. This is the best spot. Just stop fucking moving and just wait. Can you not just wait? Okay, he's gonna wait. Now, Mr. Invisible. Why is this video called Mr. Invisible? Well, it's not because he shoot, and he still won't fucking stop moving. Holy shit, buddy. Like, maybe he's nervous or he's going to go back that way. Like, make up your freaking mind. You're interfering with my commentary. It's like the matchmaker. The premium matchmaking tanks are interfering with the matchmaker. No. It's the matchmaker interfering with the premium tanks. He is not interfering. My commentary is interfering with your game. You see, you did the right thing. You went and killed. How the hell did he know that artillery was there? Who knows? Lucky. But, yeah, getting back to Mr. Invisible. Okay, they're in the cap. Now watch this. Bushes provide concealment, right? So if you shoot through bushes when they're bushy, the enemy will not see you. That's a game mechanic, and it's a really important skill to learn. So let's see. He goes in here. He's in siege mode. He can see this guy. He did not back up. The bush is not bushy. So that bush would have lost its concealment when he shot, but it was not detected. Okay, well, that was probably because the guy was far enough away. Now you see the bush is clear, and he's not backing up before he shoots. And well, now he doesn't have a shot, but okay. Well, what is he gonna do? I guess the bush is not gonna help him. He's gonna have to go to the other side. He's gonna take the That was weird that he didn't get spotted, even though he was right in the bush and the bush was clear. But what's the camo rating of this tank when it fires? Well, you know what? Let's get this right and actually figure this out before you witness what's going to happen next. Let's pause it right here. And we can go in the garage and check these things. Anyone can do this. Here it is right here. Let's just click it. Bring this TD up and look at the values here. Here are the values. It gives you, these are the concealment values right here. Now this is based on a crew. You look at this description. This is based on 100% crew with no skills, nothing. Okay, but anyways, the intrinsic concealment values for this tank right here: 23.31% camo when stationary, 4.87% camo when firing. But he has crew skills and he has equipment. So let's compare. This tank here has about exactly the same intrinsic values, but I have a good crew in it. Look. Full Brothers in Arms crew. I happen to have this one in almost full concealment. And now look at these values. Well, let's equip it the way he has it. He had binocs and camo net, and you'll see those concealment values go up even more. So now these values here, look at this: 55% concealment stationary and 11.63% concealment when firing. Okay, and that's almost with a full concealment crew. The key thing here, let's zoom in on these values, how the equipment changes it. Look. A camouflage net increases your concealment 15% stationary and 3.14% when firing. Brothers in Arms crew almost does nothing, like less than 1% stationary, 0.97, and only 0.2 when firing. The concealment skill is huge, 15.6% still and 3.26% when firing. But I don't have 100% concealment. I have maybe 80%. So I'd say for him it'd be a little bit more. So for my tank, these are my values: 55.63% when stationary, 11.63% when firing, and that's with the camo net. Brothers in Arms crew in about 80% concealment. With this tank, a TD that has the same intrinsic concealment. Let's assume that he has 100% concealment crew, so he'd probably get that 11.63% up to about 12% concealment when firing the gun. And also he had his tank painted with camo paint, which adds another 3%, and I believe that just is a constant 3%. So let's say he would get that up to about 15%, 12% plus 3. When he fires his gun, he would have about 15% concealment, which is pretty damn good. Now, it's good to know these numbers so that you can understand the game. Okay, so let's watch what's going to happen here. He's moving now to try and reset. Where does he go? Here he goes. He is in the open. There's no bushes. He's getting ready to fire. He's going to take a shot. And, oh, he's not detected. Let's pause it right here. Look at the mini-map here. And I'll tell you right away, the Object 263 has 360 meter base view range. The Lowy has 400 meter base view range. Look at the white circle. That's the maximum detection range. That's 445 meters. That white circle, the radius of that circle. Those guys are halfway between him and the white circle. So they're probably about 225 meters away from him. Actually, look at the game tells you they're 222 meters away. The little black number above the Object 263. You see that, right? He fired his gun, and his concealment after firing the gun would be maximum 15%. That's the best it could be with a camo net and full concealment crew, and brothers in arms, and camo paint. So he will reduce those enemies' view range by 15% because of his concealment. The Object 263 has 360 meter view range. Reduce that by 15%, that's 54 meters. 360 minus 54 is 306. The Object 263 should detect him if he is within 306 meters, which he is when he fires his gun. In fact, he's only 222 meters away, in the open, with clear line of sight between them, no bushes. Now for the Lowy, it's even better. The Lowy has 400 meter view range. 15% of 400 is 60. Reduce the Lowy's 400 meter view range by 60 and you get 340. The Lowy should detect this TD when it fires its gun if it is within 340 meters range. The Lowy is 222 meters away from him. He fired and he is in the open. There is no bush. There is no double bush. There's no bush. All right, well, let's keep watching and see what happens here. And remember, he is in the open here. He's out in the open. He's not in a bush. Now he's going to shoot the Lowy. The Lowy does not detect him. He is in the open. What is going on? Okay, here he goes again. He's in the open. Kill, is he detected? No, they're both in the open. They're about 222 meters apart. He fires his gun. The Object 263 should be able to detect him if he's within 306 meters of him. He is, but he remains invisible. Okay, but now he's going to have a go at the Lowy. The Lowy has better view range, 400 meter view range. Let's watch this. He's moving up here. The bush is bushy there, right? But he moves right into the bush now, so the bush goes clear. Look, the bush is clear. It's not bushy. The bush will lose its concealment when he fires. He shoots the Lowy in the commander's hatch. Let's pause it right here. Look where the Lowy is on the map. Look at the mini-map. He actually moved closer now. The Lowy's probably less than 200 meters away from him. There's clear line of sight between the Lowy's commander's hatch and him. He's in a bush that's clear. The bush should lose its concealment because it's clear. He hasn't backed up. You get that, right? If the bush is clear, it's within 15 meters of you. All bushes within 15 meters of you when you fire should lose their concealment factor. There's nothing in between them. There's no bushes in between them. It's a clear line of sight between the two. He's fired his gun. He has 15% concealment. The Lowy has 400 meter view range. They're within 200 meters of each other. 400 meter view range reduced by 15% is 340. The Lowy should detect him, but he's undetected. Mr. Invisible wins the day here. And now, you know, why not? There's the guy. The Lowy could have spotted him so he could get hit by this guy. But why not kill him too? They didn't detect him. He's invisible. They're on the other side going, fucking invisible tanks in this game. I hate that the game's broken. There's no invisible tanks in this game. Everything's working perfectly. You're just imagining it. Now see, from their perspective, put yourself in their shoes. They don't know where he is, right? Because he just killed all of them. And they don't know where he is. I mean, they have there's an arrow that says he's up there somewhere. But they don't know exactly where he is, right? So they're just assuming, oh, well, he obviously has some good concealment, and he backed up, so the bush was bushy, and he must have been, I guess my 400 meter view range, he must have been over 300 meters away or using those bushes really well. And move on to the next game. But he wasn't backing up. He was in the bush. The bush was clear. The bush wasn't concealing him. He was 220 meters away from you in the open shooting you. And he was invisible! Because he is Mr. Invisible. And Mr. Invisible has killed 5 of the 6. Let's get back to the game now. You guys think about that and leave in the comments, am I missing something? And if I'm missing something, let me know. I've tried to figure it out. I've done the math. That's the best I can do. Those numbers, the numbers shouldn't lie, but obviously there's something else going on here, either that I don't know, or that's just something else going on. The bushes, or some weird shit is happening. But old Mr. Invisible here is going to, well, karma's a bitch, Mr. Invisible, because there's an enemy left, and there's not much time left, and you can't find him because he is invisible as well. He could be right beside you now, and you don't know. There he is. You don't see him. You don't see him because he's invisible. The enemy Oni. Where is he? Was he smart enough to cross and hide? Where was he? Nobody knows, right? He's invisible. Was he beyond detection range, or was he right there in the bush, 10 meters away? You guys leave it in the comments. Are there invisible tanks in this game? Is the spotting mechanic working properly? Let me know what you think.